To the December 18th meeting of the Water and Wastewater Commission. Please be advised that FATV is conducting an audio and video recording of this meeting for public broadcast. If anybody else in the audience is recording this, please identify yourself, and if not, at this time I'd ask all the electronic devices to be put into a silent mode. And is a public hearing? Is there anybody here for a public hearing? Okay, we'll go right into the agenda. We do have, the first item on the agenda is an abatement appeal by Sharon Wilginen from 117, did I say that right? I apologize. 177 Belmont Street, to speak to the commission to appeal a decision requesting a sewer abatement for excessive water use between June 9th, 2024 and June 23rd. If you'd come to the podium and if you'd like to just give us some facts, we'd appreciate it. And just so you know, what I'd like to do is we'd like to hear from Ms. And then we'll ask any questions we have, and then if anybody wants to make a motion, we'll discuss it at that point. Okay, welcome.
Okay, well, bear with me. This is the first time I've done anything like this, so any questions or anything I'm not clear on, please just speak up and ask. Yes, so I am here for excessive water consumption during the dates that you had mentioned, June 19th to June 23rd. It started approximately around 3 p.m. on June 19th, and I noticed it on June 23rd at 7 p.m. It was my water line, my leader coming from the house. I do have a receipt that I did replace it 2 or 3 days after. I had purchased another leader to do it, but I had it on a timer. I had the hose on a timer, and I was gone away for the weekend. I had left Wednesday probably around 1 o'clock. So as soon as it turned on for the 3 o'clock watering, it was probably like a two-inch slit on the side of the leader heading into the hose. And if you look in the past, you can see that I'm usually not home on the weekends during the summer. So when I did come home on Sunday, I did notice it, and that was it. Immediately, I went downstairs to make sure it didn't get into the basement because it was up against the foundation where the leak was. I totally understand that it is my error, that the water, it is my responsibility of the water that had come out of the leak. However, I was just hoping for an abatement for for the sewer-based part of it, whereas it did not go into the sewer, and thank goodness it did not go into my cellar. It went into the ground.
So this was outside, this was a hose outside of your house?
Yes, so I had it set up, so I don't know if anybody's here from the sewer commission. I had my sewer line replaced from my house almost out to the roadway in January of 23. So I had to have all the front yard repaired in 23, walkway, etc. So in 24, in the spring of 24, this year, I had replanted all the grass, and so I had the timer going, etc., to water it. I think it was, I don't know, twice a day. It was either 3, 4 o'clock, something like that, and then in the morning for 20 minutes. But obviously, it just kept coming out of the hose at one point when the leader broke. And I'm very disappointed because it was a brand new leader. I had only been using it for 2 months.
Does anybody have questions?
Did you take any photos of, like, when you got home, saw the water everywhere? Anything to just substantiate the claim? Because that's, I think, one of the reasons why it was.
I wasn't even thinking that far in advance. I went downstairs because it was probably not even a foot away from my foundation. Mm-hmm. So, and I haven't had very much luck with water in my basement, so that was my first thing. I went down and checked, and then when I saw what it was and all, and then when I got my bill, it totally did not even enter my mind when I saw the water that was the whole thing. And the only thing I can say is I have the receipt. I don't know if you still have a copy.
I think we have a copy of the.
Lowe's receipt, yeah. What was it, the 26th? The 20, no. Well,
Yep, 26.
the 26th, yes. And that's why I had gone and replaced it. That's the only thing that I can give you that, because I wanted, unfortunately, to continue watering the yard because of the situation of the newly planted seed.
Okay. And I can corroborate, so we looked through our permitting records, she did have her sewer line replaced back in January 2023.
Yep.
Any other questions? Okay, well, thank you. We appreciate your coming here.
Okay.
No, the amount that you're requesting for an abatement, if I think, Mark, you were talking, Mark, can you give us a little?
Yeah, I think I might have left you with the number. What we would do is, we would take her normal usage, which I believe was around 2 or 3 units, and subtract it from the huge increase, which was, I believe, 30. And I believe the number, you might have it in front of you, Mr. Chair.
I think I saw $320 is
Yes.
correct.
Yep.
Okay.
And
The additional amount that was different, that was the excessive uses was $320 just for the sewer use portion of that. If anybody.
Correct.
So I guess at this point, the question for the commission, would anybody like to make a motion? If we want to make a motion to consider an abatement, I'd entertain that motion. We can then debate whether or not you'd like to do that.
So I guess just for the sake of the viewing public, Mark, could you explain what the policy is and if we've allowed any sort of a, not grace period, but, a grace incident, so to speak?
Yeah, the policy, it's on our website, it's on the City of Fitchburg's website, and it does list reasons why we would give a sewer abatement, and also gives reasons why we wouldn't give one. In the past, we have granted outside the leeway of those specific instances, if we had direct information that said a pipe broke, or something like that, we could have a plumber's bill or photos or something. As long as it didn't go into the sewer system, we would give a one-time grace period for the person at the time. We don't always do it. Sometimes people give us bare minimum. We have nothing to go off of, and we have denied those in the past. But we also have granted them in the past for those that we can honestly say, yes, something happened, and we're going to forgive this one.
Okay.
Thank you, Mark.
Thanks, Mark.
Would anybody like to make a motion?
So moved.
Okay, your motion is to,
That we discussed this.
well, no, we can only discuss a motion. So if we need a motion, you can make a motion to
I would make a motion to abate this
$320.
$320.
Do I have a second to that motion?
I'll second it.
Second. Okay, discussion on the motion.
So I think, given in the past that we have allowed a grace incident, I think we should consider that here. The resident seems like an honest person, like there's no deceit happening here. It seems to be clearly a failure of the hose, bursting water line, that type of thing. We can definitively say the water did not go into the sewer. We grant abatements for that. So I feel comfortable granting the abatement in this case.
Anybody else?
Speaks for me.
Hearing no further comments, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you for coming in.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you.
Merry Christmas.
And Merry Christmas. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Very good.
For my first time coming.
Well, it's nice to see you.
You did very good.
Thank you. You all have a nice Christmas and a Happy New Year. Thank you.
Okay, we sent the minutes out to the October 16th commission meeting. Has everybody had a chance to review those? So I'll accept a motion to approve.
So moved.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Water Division.
Good evening, everyone. Just a few updates on a few projects we have going on. Boulder Drive Water Main Project. We finished the paving there and also got all the line markings down as well. Fortunately, before, we did have some colder weather, although it's been nicer the past couple days. But so that project is now complete, except for some materials they have up at one of our sites that they need to crush and remove from the site. So we're just getting that done in the next few weeks. So we're 100% on Boulder. Water main was replaced. All the services were, and the interconnecting streets over to Main Street as well. Everything was done, so we're very happy that that's complete, and I think it looks pretty good. We didn't just to explain, we didn't pave every, overlay, mill and overlay everything there because one of the CSS projects is going to go through there. So there was spot areas that we kind of skipped over because there was no sense in doing that and then having it excavated this coming year or the year after. So we did go beyond, where the pavement was in poor condition, but I think it came out pretty good. So it looks pretty good. So. Rides pretty well. Main Street Water Main Project, the contractor, a different one from the Boulder, is Polito. They did complete about 25 valve replacements on side streets on Main Street, so that next spring we can get a jump start on the project itself and not have to worry about that, because some of those were a bit difficult, doing the shutdowns and things like that. So now we have better control, the shut off water from the side streets, so that we don't have that, coming through into the work area, and also allow us to install temporary water main along, those from the side streets to serve the buildings on Main Street. So over the winter months, we're going to have an informational meeting for all the business owners downtown, residents, anybody who has interest, counselors will let you know as well. We did some of the project without having that because it wasn't really disruptive traffic-wise, and we knew it was only going to take a couple weeks for that work. And we felt that, anything that was explained during the meeting would be lost by next spring when we did start. So we're anticipating on having that meeting late winter here in the council chambers. So like I said, we'll let you know what that is. It'll probably be held during the day. So it's going to be a disruptive project. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. There's 2 water mains on Main Street that are going to be replaced. Both are 12-inch, and one's for the high pressure zone and one's for the low pressure zone. We looked at eliminating one of them and just got down to one main, but it wasn't feasible given fire protection issues downtown as well as pressure issues. We couldn't swap every building over the high pressure main because that could cause problems with plumbing, or we'd have to install pressure reducers and things like that. So, plus we have a dual system for firefighting too. With the hydrants, we have high and low system hydrants, so there's a benefit there as well. Plus we need to make sure that we can connect to some of the side streets that some are high system mains and some are low system mains. So like I said, we tried to cut it down to one and hopefully save some money, but it just didn't work out. So yeah, we'll be starting that project as early as possible in the spring. We'll have to watch the weather, but we want to get as much as the construction season, get as much as done in the next construction season as we can. We're hoping to finish the project, the meat of it, by the end of, fall of next year, but we'll see how that goes. Any questions on either of those? Next one on the list is the Meetinghouse Gatehouse Rehabilitation Project. That's up in Westminster. It's the terminal reservoir just before the regional water treatment plant. The contract was signed. I think I've explained that before. We have traveling screens in there that remove debris, leaves, dead fish, sticks, things like that. So they don't get trapped in the strainers down at the plant. We try to get the bigger stuff out of there, and also they don't cause a blockage in the pipeline. So that traveling screen is being replaced, and that's been ordered, and we expect to receive, the contractor will get it next spring and start work then. So there's quite a bit of lead time from, when we sign the contract, everything gets ordered, materials, that traveling screen, which is a expensive component, before that's actually delivered. So hopefully we can get that rehabilitation project, the bulk of it, done next spring, before the high demand period. That's our goal now. So the gatehouse will be sandbagged off basically, and cofferdam built, and we'll have to bypass pump, which has been done before up there many years ago, but it's not something we're a little bit anxious about it, of course, because we're going to be using large diesel pumps to pump, but to bypass that gatehouse so we can keep water coming to the city. So, but I'm sure we've got some good engineers, we've got some good people. I'm sure it'll go fine. So, the Mare Meadow pump station is in Hubbardston, and that's on Mare Meadow Reservoir, of course. That's our largest reservoir for the city and probably our best water quality-wise. It's a great asset to the city. But we have a pump station that pumps water from there over to Meetinghouse. It can't flow gravity. But that is a 50s era pump station, and the pumps are inefficient. The electrical panels are, they're just old. We had to do some repairs there, and it wasn't very easy because of the age of the electrical components. So we had to kind of, I don't want to say Mickey Mouse. It was done correctly according to electrical code, but it was not, something, installing lines across the floor or to run things as, parts of those electrical panels have failed. So, so that is going to be completed next year, but probably later after the summer season. But right now the bid is due in the beginning of January, so we haven't selected a contractor yet. But again, similar to the Meetinghouse project, there's a long lead time to the pumps, so we have to get a contract signed and actually get things ordered so that contractor can actually complete the work. So part of that project will involve our Bickford Reservoir. There's a pump station over there, and we pump from Bickford over to Mare Meadow. It's kind of leapfrogging from all those reservoirs. But we'll be doing a roof project there as part of that, and just rehabbing that building a bit. The pumps there are fine. They're a bit newer, so we don't have to worry about that. But that'll put those two facilities, along with the Meetinghouse Gatehouse, in very good shape. It's something that's, these buildings, some of them are 50s, but the Meetinghouse Gatehouse is, from 1890. So there's been some work done to it before, but this time we're going to rehab the whole thing, do the complete new roof and everything else. There's going to be a lot of work done to it. So we want to make sure it's good for another 130 years or so. Regional roof project is moving along. There've been a little bit of hiccups with the weather. They've had to work around that. Only work on the nice days, but they're still anticipating by finishing everything by the middle of January. So there was also some masonry work that was done, had to be redone there. Some of the new walls had to be rebuilt on a portion of the building due to some drainage issues that we saw with the walls, and allowed the water to get in behind them into the building. So that is being done as part of that project, and it should make that building, as far as the roof wise, completely weather tight. So we're excited to get that done, because we were constantly dealing with some leaks here and there, on drain lines particularly. We'd have to go up and basically tar them and seal them up that way. So the regional treatment plant, we're still working on some engineering and a study for rehabilitating the rest of it. There's a lot of, that plant is now 25 years old. So some of the treatment parts of it inside, the clarifiers, filters have to be rebuilt. And also we're seeing that some of the stainless steel piping, it's funny, you think stainless steel would be less corrosive, but it's found in treatment plants to have issues, and we got small pinhole leaks in all kinds of portions of them. So nothing that's like running out on the floor or, going to fail catastrophically. But we're going to have to shut down the plant in January and have a company come in and just look at the integrity of that stainless steel piping from the inside. Make sure that, it's not something that's more serious, but, or just a pinhole leak. So Falula plant is newer, of course, but it has ductile iron piping all through it, and that has not shown the same issues as the stainless steel piping as in Regional. They thought they were actually, when they selected it back that many years ago, they thought they were doing the right thing by, upgrading to stainless steel, and they kind of cut a little bit of the budget for the Falula plant and ended up to being the cheaper material and to being better, so, So yeah, that's part of the whole study. We're looking at the PFAS. We do have some PFAS in the water. We're below the limits, but, we need to look at whether, we should include some type of treatment in for that. We have a NPDES permit that we need to address with aluminum discharge, and we're looking at changing our coagulant from something with aluminum in it called polyaluminum chloride to ferric chloride, so that we could meet our NPDES permit and still, of course, treat the water. So, but it's not an easy thing. Our jar test, which is basically lab test, showed that the ferric coagulant was actually worked better than the pack, which was surprising, because that's not what we understood when the plant was first built. But it did work better and quicker. However, we need to do a larger scale pilot test, and they actually have units that they bring around to plants and do testing like this. We'll set up piping from wherever and run it through there, but nothing's available for months on end. So we're going to be looking to see if DEP will allow us to just do it in real time within a couple of the, within the filters or clarifiers, one segment of the plant, because they can be separated and not have it go out to the water system. We would run it to waste up there. So we're going to be looking to see if we can get that approval in January to do it that way, just to expedite things and make sure that we can use that as a coagulant. So, and then also while the plant's down, for a few hours, we're going to open up the one of the clarifiers and look underneath and see why we're losing some of the media that's within the clarifier, whether a screen is damaged or something separated from the wall inside there, because we have, like I said, lost some media in that clarifier. So, any questions on any of that? I'm kind of like firing along. Go ahead.
Chair.
Two questions, Joe?
A couple of things here. We had good news. I'm going to run all these questions past you.
Yeah.
Because you mentioned pipes in the ceiling that got pinholes in them. Are they
The stainless steel piping?
The stainless piping has gotten the pinholes in them?
Yeah, and the treatment plant. I mean, it's
mentioned-
piping. It's like, 2
Yeah.
foot diameter.
You mentioned that there was going to be, you were going to shut it down in
Yep.
January. What kind of impact will that have on service at all?
No impact at all, because it'll only be down for a few hours, so there will be no impact to anything. We have enough storage up there, and it's a low flow period. Plus, we have the other plant that we can utilize for to help supplement some of the flows. So,
Last month, we were given some great news about the lead piping within
Yep.
the city of Fitchburg.
yeah,
And it was recommended that we get it put out to the public that
yep,
we have good news.
yeah.
I didn't see anything. Did I miss it?
No, I was out for a few weeks, and we've had another person out, so we have a draft version of the press release, so we'll get that out in the next couple of weeks. So,
All right.
but,
Next question. When I go out through the city, I get accosted by people asking questions about this and that, especially seeing that I've sit on this board. Because of a new administration coming in Washington, people are very interested about what is going to happen in the future. It is talked about that there is going to be fluoride taken out of the drinking water.
yeah.
What kind of impact does that have on us? How hard is that for us to accomplish, taking out the fluoride?
It's not difficult. I mean, we add fluoride to the water, at the dosage.
Like turn off a spigot?
Yes, basically.
Okay.
So,
Those are my questions.
yeah, we're monitoring that and just seeing how that transpires. I've actually, there's been a couple of news things on the major news in the evening about fluoride, so we'll see how that does, because I think there's going to be a bit of a battle at the national level. I mean, we know we had it at the local level, but
That was a question a couple of years ago.
yeah.
For the council, and
but-
voted to leave it.
Okay, that's all I have. Thank you. Thank you,
Yep.
Mr. Chairman.
Good. Any other questions for John? No. Mark?
Just a couple of points as well. As a result of all this work that the water and wastewater has been doing over the years, can we kind of get out to the public as well, as Joe had mentioned on other topics, about how many streets that we're going to have paved as a result of these projects? I think it's some pretty darn good news that people would like to hear, and we should share with them, right?
I think the mayor had, a few weeks ago, had a whole list of them, didn't she, in one of her releases?
I think so.
I'm
but
talking specifically, all these roads that are getting redone as a result of all the work that the water, wastewater.
Yeah, I think she had all the ones with the last project that Polito just finished up. She listed all those projects, but yeah, the future ones could also be listed as well, so.
Yeah, I just, I think it's some future good news to the residents that, hey, we're tearing all these roads up, but look at the light at the end of the tunnel. And, it's pretty substantial. So I just think it's some good news the city is due.
Yeah, Main Street's, in poor condition and needs a lot of work, of course, but, a lot of things were put off because we knew we were going to go through with water and all, the CSS project. So I think that's going to be a key thing as well, is that, the public needs to, will understand that, there's a light at the end of the tunnel there. It's like we're going to get everything done on the ground, which is the proper way of doing it, including all the services, the sewer, the stormwater, and then, Main Street will be able to be paved without, worry of a break or something like that. So it's getting there.
Yeah, I think the total number, not including Main Street or Boulder Drive, just with the combined sewer separation projects for downtown, I think it's 7 miles worth of paving.
Yeah.
Curb to curb.
Isn't that good news?
Yeah.
That's great news, yeah.
Real good news.
So we can put together a list and include that in a separate press release. Like John said, I know the mayor's put stuff out on her Facebook page and all that, but we could do a press release and see if the newspaper picks it up or anything like that. Okay.
Any further questions? Mark McNamara, you want to?
You have one more?
Yeah, just a staffing update.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were done. I apologize.
I just figured I'd let you know, we did have one primary treatment operator leave for another treatment plant, where the hours were a bit better because we do require weekend shifts every 6 weeks. So he was able to not have a weekend shift for the other job at the same pay. So, but we have the chief operator out on an extended leave as well. But otherwise, just to let you know, we did go through quite a bit with the last union contract, and it's been very effective in hiring quality employees and be able to maintain the staff, at least for the water division. So, I anticipate we'll be able to, I think we're going to fill the primary operator position internally, and then we'll have to re-advertise for a secondary treatment operator to fill that position from the internal applicant. But yeah, it's just, just figured I'd let you know that, here we are, a year. How long has it been since the new contract now?
I think it'll be about 2 years.
Yeah,
This
it's
January.
been, from the water perspective, it's been very effective at, keeping people there and, keeping them motivated with some of the incentives that were included in it and stuff. And it's nothing exorbitant. It's what other, deep, water departments and DPWs have been paying, getting on that level playing field. So, and we have some nice facilities to work at. So that's a plus too. So, if you have the pay at the correct level, that we can attract, good people and qualified people. So, just wanted to let you know that. So, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Mark, now you're
My turn. First, I'll hit the sewer project updates. First off is CSO 10. That's the project in the Upper Main Street area that's been going on for the past year and a half. The project has stopped for the wintertime due to the weather. The remaining work will be completed next construction season, possibly in March, if weather permitting. And we'll also see a lot of our paving up in that area finished. So that'll be additional stuff that will be good to publicize. CSO 32 was the next big project, excuse me, that just begun a couple weeks ago. It's continuing through the winter months, and so during this time, they're going to try to do a lot of sewer spot repairs and a lot of the small jobs, and anticipating of the big sewer mains that have to get replaced. So currently, they're up in the Mechanic Street and Blossom Street, Elm Street area doing some work. And in this area, we also have some very good news that you'd like to hear. We received a letter from the Clean Water Trust. And this was December 10th. And I'll read it here. On behalf of the Massachusetts Clean Water Trust and the State Treasurer and Receiver General, I am pleased to inform you that loan forgiveness has been awarded for a portion of Fitchburg's loans with the Massachusetts Clean Water Trust for the project listed below. And this is the CSO 324583 project that we just begun. The original cost for this is $27.7 million. And they're going to forgive $4.128 million off of this for us, which is 14.9% interest. Not interest, but 14.9% forgiveness. They also state that we know that communities take a leading role in protecting the local environment and public health, and with that comes the financial burden of building, maintaining vital water infrastructure projects. The additional subsidy provided by this loan forgiveness will help to lessen that financial impact to your residents to ensure that you can continue to provide the water and sewer services necessary in your community. So we just received this, which is very good news. We will try to publish this and get the news word out so people can see that there is just not bad stuff coming with all this sewer repair work. Also, the second half of the CSO 32 project, which is CSO 45 and 83, that's going to be, right now it's in the study, putting together the bids or the study for next year. So this project will probably go out to bid sometime in early summer, possibly July, and then awarded soon after that, and then we could see this project beginning sometime maybe late fall, early, next year, in fiscal calendar year 25. So when this kicks off, we're going to have a lot of projects going on right downtown Fitchburg, mostly on the other side of Main Street, but we're going to see a lot of work going on. Any questions on those two projects?
Questions?
Okay. I also have a staffing update, vacancies and the automation study that I mentioned before. First off, I want to introduce, behind me is Brian Nolan. He's the plant superintendent down the treatment plant. And he was appointed back in September, I believe, right? Yep. So he's taken over the plant in the meantime and trying to work with the vacancies that we have. Because we do have some. They have not changed since last time. We still have a senior operator position that's vacant and a couple of operator positions. We're still short-staffed. We're hoping that this is going to change in the near future. But currently we are managing with the existing staff. Everyone's been pitching in and doing some long hours, but they're doing it and not complaining about it either. And we're still meeting all our discharge requirements, which is the main thing. Because of us having a hard time filling vacancies, I've mentioned before, we're trying to have an automation study. Well, we had a progress meeting today, and it's still going. It's going to take time, longer time than I thought it was going to be. I thought we could just make a few changes, get the DEP's okay, and go to shut down the building at night. And it's not going to be that easy. The SCADA system at the plant is really old. It's kind of piecemealed over the last 20-something years. And so it's not conducive to automating. So it looks like if we do go forward with the automation, we're probably going to have to redo our SCADA system. But we won't know that till the study's done. So that's where we're headed with this. If it does get complete, we can reduce the staffing levels for after hours, and that would give us a big break with how we run the plant too. My next item was the process changes we had to do down to the wastewater treatment plant. Because of the success with all the CSO upgrades upstream and a little bit due to the drought, we've been seeing a drastic reduction in the water going into the plant. And it's gotten to the point where we had to do something. So we basically took almost 50% of the treatment process offline so that we can still treat the water that's coming in. The reason why we're doing this is because the biomass that's down there, it's very delicate, and it's a balance between the bugs that we call them, the bacteria, and the amount of food coming in, and it's a ratio that is very sensitive, and you got to keep it within a certain frame. With the low amounts of water, we don't have the flow capacity coming through that moves a lot of that stuff. So a lot of it sits around for a long time, and it gets old, and it's affecting the effluent coming out of the treatment plant. Best thing we found out we could do is reduce the treatment that's in the plant. So we shut down half the treatment plant, which is helping out with mechanical, electrical, and stuff like that. But it's giving us, the ability to find out what's going to work and what's not going to work, because this is going to be a problem we're probably going to be facing more as we do the CSO work. As we get better and better at the CSOs, we should eventually reach almost what John's pumping out. I mean, yeah, we're always going to have broken pipes somewhere. We're still going to get some infiltration, but it should be close to what he's getting. We used to get almost 7 million gallons a day right around now. Right now, we're only doing 4.1. So that's why we have to make some changes. And we're going to see how it goes. But people down the plant have been doing a good job. Brian's doing a very good job with the adjustment down there. And we're hoping that this is what needs to be done to help it out.
What's the water output daily?
Averaging 4.1 million gallons a day.
That's at your end.
That's my end.
Yeah, what about from the water? And
I'm not sure what we're producing this week or whatever, so I can get that information, because as soon as he said how much, I'm sure it's less than that, of course, but we average during the course of a year about 4.5 million gallons a day. So, but some of the water is used in the summer months for irrigation, things like that. So, but the winter months will be a good time because we aren't irrigating, to see how that correlates. But I can get that information.
yeah, it'd be interesting to know. You said you'd like to achieve a 1-to-1. It sounds like we're almost there.
Yeah, no, I'd say we're probably within 1 million gallons if he's at 4.1. I can't imagine it's going below like 3.2 or 3.3 right now. Don't hold me to it, but that's about what I would say we were running.
One of our
Any
problems.
response from the state with regards to our achievements?
Not yet. I mean, they do thank us for all the CSO work that we're doing. That we are, every time we go to meetings and stuff, we are noted for the work that we're doing, because there's a lot of communities that have CSO problems. They're way behind us in what they're supposed to be doing. And they've been reaching out to some of our guys to find out how they can do what we're doing. So the DEP does appreciate what we're doing. The problem we have with our treatment plant with having such low flow, it wasn't designed to be this slow. Fitchburg's was designed for combined sewers. You know, the plant's designed at 12.4 million gallons a day on an average. That's what it's designed for. They never envisioned removing this combined sewers. And so as we reduce the flow, we're trying to get creative on how we deal with the flow, because that plant was not designed to have certain sections shut down. You have to get creative on how to do that.
I think I've been doing this too long. If I remember correctly, and I could be wrong, but weren't we sometimes in storm events like 20 million gallons?
We have in the past. I started back in Fitchburg in 2012. Some storm events would make us bypass for days on time. I mean, there were times when I saw the flow going over 40 million gallons a day in the rain events.
I remember some really big numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The highest I've ever seen was the hurricane back in 2018. It maxed out over 52 million gallons.
Oh.
We can only treat, say 20 in the summertime, 20 to 25. So all that rest was being bypassed. So
When's the last time we've had an overflow event?
Recently, because it's, we still get a lot of influx when it does rain out. Just a couple weeks ago, I think it was Thanksgiving, was a big rain event, and so we did have an issue that day. Wintertime, the treatable flow is a little bit lower than the summer because things don't settle well in cold water. And so we look at it on the settability and the final clarifiers. If we start to see them rising due to the hydraulic flow, then we have to bypass some because we don't want to lose the solids. That's what keeps the system healthy, and it keeps the bugs for eating things. So we're constantly playing with that number. In the wintertime, it's tough if we get rain events in the winter because, like I said, cold water doesn't allow good settability, and so everything stays in a flux. Summertime, we can get 25 plus MGD through that plant for a period of time before we have to bypass. Winter is kind of hard. But eventually, when all the CSO work's done, I'm looking for that day when we don't bypass at all. That'd be the ideal thing.
And I think the important thing right now is that the duration of that bypass is much reduced. Used to be days, weeks. Now it's hours.
Minutes at times.
Right.
Minutes to a couple hours. Yep.
And then to your other point about the state recognizing the hard work that we do, they don't tell us they love us, but we know just through their principal forgiveness of, what, 4 million, that's their way, I think, of saying thank you for what you're doing.
Yeah, they have only so much of that to allocate, and, that to have Fitchburg get that allocation out of the pot of money is a good thing.
Yeah, they wouldn't give that to us unless they recognize the work that Mark and the wastewater division is doing.
Yeah, we do maintain a very good relationship with them, so if we do have issues, we have strong communications going with them. So, they don't look at us as a problem child anymore. We look at them as people who are trying to do the right thing all the time, and that's how they look at us. And so when we call them up and say, hey, we have this, and this wrong, they said, okay, just keep us informed, and they move on.
Yeah.
Good. Anything else?
That's all I have.
Any questions for Mark? Okay, thank you. Is there any other business? Jason, I think you had...
Yeah, real quick, Mr. Chairman, thank you. Today in the mail, I got what was billed as an annual water test notice. It looks kind of official and like something you have to do. It does say, buried somewhere in the back, that it's not related to any sort of actual water service. So just public awareness, people know.
Yeah,
if you get this in the mail.
Definitely nothing the water division sent out. And I did look at the sampling bottles and so forth that was sent along with the mailer, and they're not really something that you could use to get an accurate sample or preserve it and get it to a lab. It's being sent back to someplace in New Jersey. We're not sure if that's a state certified lab or not. So having said that, if people do want to have their water sampled or some particular, thing sampled, we're happy to do that for them. We've had people that were concerned about, lead or something like that. They're in an older house. It's like, well, what, do I have lead in my house? Because it's not what most people do understand that it's not lead in the drinking water itself. It's lead from house plumbing, the older copper and solder and, the brass that's in the fixtures did contain lead. So, but we'll come out and collect a sample just to see, what is there and, make sure it's a first flush sample, preserved correctly. We'll take one after it's been flushed just to see that, you can flush your water for, 5-10 minutes and it's gone, It's usually just that water that's been sitting in a tap or, in that fixture overnight or that line. So, but yeah, just to make people aware, that's a good thing because those type of things come out periodically, where they send samples, and a lot of time it's just what they're really probably looking at is maybe iron or manganese or something like that, and then they'll advise that you might want to, get a filter system and try to sell you that afterwards. So not sure if that's the case with that one, but that's what we seem to go because those are the type of samples that, that you could get an accurate reading on iron or manganese fairly easy, but not some of the other, analytes that, we might be concerned about. So. But it's a good thing to be aware, like I said, just know that, if there's questions about your water, that we're happy to collect a sample and take a look at, what's there. So we do know we have some areas that do have higher iron manganese because of the older water mains. And, if people are having a problem, we like to know about it and see what's going on. And maybe we can see if there's a valve closed or something else that we can address. So, all right.
Thank you. Thank you, Jason.
Thank you.
Any other business? Okay, if not, the next meeting will be January 15th here at 5 o'clock. And at this point, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you.